What is up, everybody? Welcome to another daily trading hub video. Today we're just going to be doing our weekly analysis on USD CAD, a pair that I'm watching to go to the downside. Why am I saying I want USD CAD to drop, or I'm going to be looking for sales on USD CAD? Let's just dive straight into the analysis and see what I'm seeing. So currently on USD CAD, this is the monthly time frame. I'm seeing this is the monthly time frame. So this is the monthly lower zone, this is a monthly mid-range zone, and then this is a monthly upper zone. So initially, what was price doing? Initially, price was in an uptrend. Price was in a strong uptrend. Price was going up, and then we had a retest. Price continued to buy up again. What did we expect? We expected a retest here and then price to buy back up to make the next higher high for the uptrend to continue. But what did we see on NZD/USD? We saw that this was a strong level of resistance here initially on a monthly time frame. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when it got to the fifth time, what did price do? Price managed to break above. To the next monthly resistance. We expected price to do a retest or come down a little bit and then continue to buy. But what are we seeing right now on USD CAD? On USD CAD, we see that price has broken below the support. It has broken below the support and is currently retesting. It's broken below the support and it's currently retesting. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting price to still play in this range and come all the way down to the monthly lower zone. So that's how come I'll be looking for sales here on NZD/USD. How am I going to be getting my sell opportunity on USD CAD? Sorry, I keep saying NZD/USD. On USD CAD, how am I going to be getting my opportunities? Just scale down to the weekly time frame. So on a weekly time frame, I'm seeing very, very, very interesting price action. So we can actually see price was supposed to, like I mentioned, hold this level. It tried a couple of times, it could not, and then it made a lower low. Right now, price retested this monthly mid-range zone. I expect it to come down here for our first target, 1.36, 1.35 region, or before it comes to the lower zone, 1.31 region. So this, to me right now, price has switched to a downtrend on the weekly time frame. Price has switched to a downtrend. And also, what am I seeing here? I'm also seeing some sort of evening star. If you understand your chart patterns, this is a potential reversal candle on a strong time frame like the weekly candle, like the weekly time frame, and this is an evening star riding around the resistance level on a mid-range zone on a monthly time frame. So this is potentially going to be dropping price back to the mid-range zone of the weekly time frame here. That's how come I'm looking for more sales on USD CAD. But we cannot take our sales here on USD CAD weekly time frame. We have to scale down to a much smaller time frame and then continue to do analysis. We also see a daily time frame is in a downtrend, right? So we see this sharp pump and then price got declined all the way up. It failed to hold the support. It is currently at this support right now, this daily lower zone support. Usually we should have this and then price should be coming all the way up, but right now it's at the mid-range zone of the daily level, which is not a good sign. We might have a retest here and something would form potentially like a head and shoulder. So if I just connect this one, we would have a potential head and shoulder forming for USD CAD for price to continue to go lower. Remember, first target is around the 3.57 region before we eventually head all the way down to the monthly support level. So this is how I'm seeing USD CAD. Again, we cannot buy on the daily time frame. That's too big of a time frame. So what I expect price to do is price to go up a little bit for that retest. This is the first option, that retest here on the mid-range zone on the daily time frame before we eventually get our first selling opportunity that would crack this zone. Or the next thing is, if price is so strong with the bearishness and then it continues to break, I'll expect it to break a little bit and then come back for a retest before we eventually start selling and then selling more down. So these are the two levels I'll be watching for USD to continue to sell. So let's just go down to the 4-hour time frame and see how we can potentially be looking to take our trades. I typically take my trades on the 4-hour, on the 1-hour time frame. These are my entry time frames for taking my trade. So currently you can also see that the daily is in a downtrend, a series of a low, lower high, lower low. We expect, like I mentioned, let me just, where is it, lower low. We expect, like I mentioned, price to retest somewhere here or retest here before we start selling all the way down, and ultimately our target is the monthly support zone somewhere around 315. But our first target would be somewhere around here, 3.7, and then the next one, and then the next one. Let's just scale down to the 1-hour time frame and then see how we can get opportunities if we go down to the 1-hour time frame. So currently we cannot be selling USD on this because it is sitting on a support zone on a daily time frame, right? It is sitting on a support on a daily time frame. So like I said, I expect price to pump a little bit, rally somewhere around here or here, and I'll be looking to take my sell all the way down. First TP is 1374 area, and then the next TP 135 region before we start going all the way down to visit the monthly support zone. So this is a strong analysis for my analysis for USD. I expect price to sell, but how will I take the sell? Once again, I will not be taking the sell now because price is currently on a support zone on a daily time frame. So I want to wait for price to pull back a little bit before we eventually start selling. Here would be our first area to take profit, or we'll take profit and then we'll continue to take profit here. Or another level on which I want to be selling, or another way in which I want to be selling, is for price to break all the way down here and then come for that retest before we eventually continue to sell to the downside on a weekly and eventually start targeting the monthly. So this is my analysis for USD. I expect a sell for USD in a week, in 2 weeks. Let's just see how price eventually plays up. So if you like what I'm doing here, if you like my analysis, I'll be dropping this setup in my free Telegram when it's ready. So feel free to join, and peace till the next one. I'm out.